For like 2 decades, when you thought of SpaceX, you thought of one thing: Mars. It was their whole reason for being. But something just changed. In a really fast pivot, they've aimed their biggest rocket at the moon instead. So, what's going on here? We're going to deconstruct the science, the strategy, and the tech behind this massive shift in focus.
All right, let's start with the big picture, the foundational mission. This quote from Elon Musk is key, because it tells you this whole pivot, it isn't really about changing the ultimate goal. The destination is still the stars. It's just that they've completely redrawn the map to get there.
And for the longest time, that map really only had one place marked on it. A single, super ambitious destination has shaped the company's entire identity and all of its engineering since day one.
Yep, for more than 20 years, it was Mars, Mars, Mars. The red planet was the entire point. The company was literally founded back in 2002 to settle Mars. Every big hardware decision they made, especially how they designed Starship, was made with that one goal in mind.
So if Mars was the North Star for 2 decades, what happened? Just a little over a year ago, the moon was being called a distraction. Now, it's the #1 priority. So that brings up the big question. What's really behind this huge strategic U-turn?
Okay, this slide right here, this is where it all clicks into place. It boils down to simple, cold, hard logistics. Going to the moon, that's a quick trip, just a few days. Mars, that's a 6-month haul. But the real kicker is the launch window. You can pretty much go to the moon whenever you want. For Mars, you have to wait for the planets to align just right, which only happens once every 26 months. That means you can test, fail, learn, and try again on the moon hundreds of times before you could even attempt a handful of Mars missions.
And boom, this quote just nails the new strategy. The big goal is still a self-sustaining city off Earth, but the moon is now seen as the essential test track. It's about getting to that big goal faster by using our closest cosmic neighbor to rapidly work out all the bugs and prove the hardware really works.
And check out this timeline. It's just wild how fast this all happened. We're talking about a complete 180 in the company's public strategy in just about a year. It's a fascinating look at a company adapting its grand vision to some very practical engineering realities.
All right, let's get into the hardware. Because this isn't just an idea on a whiteboard. SpaceX is actively building the machine for this new lunar focus, and it's a very special version of their main rocket.
So, here's a crucial piece of the puzzle. SpaceX isn't just deciding to go to the moon on their own. They are a prime contractor for NASA. They're building the official human landing system, the HLS, for the Artemis program. This thing is going to be the lunar taxi, the first vehicle to carry astronauts to the moon's surface since the Apollo era.
But this thing is not your standard Starship. Not even close. Because it never has to come back through Earth's atmosphere, it gets to ditch a ton of weight. So no heavy heat shield, no big aerodynamic flaps. It's a stripped-down, specialized machine built for one job and one job only: moving people and stuff between lunar orbit and the surface. But a vehicle this huge, how do you power it? How do you even get it there? Well, that takes us into the core science of it all. Okay, let's peel back another layer. To really get how a vehicle this massive can land on the moon, and more importantly, how this whole architecture works, we've got to look at the mind-bending engineering that makes it even possible. And it all starts with the engines.
Everything, and I mean everything, starts with the Raptor engine. This is the fundamental building block. It uses this super efficient design called full-flow staged combustion, and it burns liquid methane and liquid oxygen. Now that fuel choice is the secret sauce. It's powerful, it's clean, and here's the key for the long game: you can theoretically make methane on Mars.
Now, this right here, this is probably the most ambitious piece of the whole puzzle. It's orbital refueling. Because Starship is so big, it can't carry enough gas in one go to make it all the way to the moon and back. So the solution is to build a gas station in space. First, they launch a depot. Then a bunch of tanker flights go up to fill it. Only then does the actual lunar lander launch, swing by the depot to top off its tanks, and then head for the moon. If they pull this off, it's not just a big deal for SpaceX, it's a total game changer for all of spaceflight. It means we're no longer stuck in low Earth orbit. And this table, wow, it really shows you their whole philosophy in action: rapid iteration. The program is built in blocks, and each new version is a massive leap in what it can do. Just look at the payload to orbit. It's set to go from 15 tons to 200 tons. We're not talking about small, gradual improvements here. This is an exponential jump in capability, all driven by this mantra of build, fly, learn, and build again. Fast.
Okay, so a hugely expensive and complicated program like Starship doesn't just happen in a bubble, right? It's really important to zoom out and see the powerful financial engine that's actually paying for all this.
608. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's how many times the Falcon rocket family has launched. That kind of launch rate used to be unthinkable. It's become the world's workhorse rocket, and it's created a very reliable, very profitable launch business. That profit, that's what's bankrolling the whole Starship experiment.
And here's the other side of that coin. 9 million. That's the number of people paying for Starlink, their satellite internet service. Think about that. This creates this massive, steady stream of cash that goes directly into funding Starship's development. It's this incredible feedback loop. Starship launches the satellites that make the money to build more Starships.
And finally, you can't forget the partnership with NASA. This isn't just about cash, though the HLS contract is worth billions. NASA also brings decades of deep space experience, tough oversight, and clear goals. This partnership lowers the risk for everyone and grounds the whole lunar mission in a national effort, mixing SpaceX's speed with NASA's incredible expertise.
All right, so we've got the new strategy, we've got the tech in the works, we've got the money figured out. So what does the actual roadmap for the next decade look like now?
The new plan is actually pretty clear and step-by-step. First, in 2027, prove it works. No crew, just get it there and land it. Once that's done, you go for the historic Artemis 3 mission with NASA astronauts in 2028. After they prove the whole system is reliable and reusable at the moon, then, and only then, does the focus swing back to Mars, probably in the early 2030s. See? The moon is the stepping stone, it's not the final destination.
So the big takeaway here is that this pivot to the moon isn't a step back from their ambition, it's actually a way to accelerate it. But it leaves us with this huge question. If a self-sustaining city on the moon is possible in the next 10 years, are we just watching the birth of a new off-world economy? Or are we seeing the very first real steps of humanity becoming a truly multi-planetary species?